Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel where we discuss all things personal finance related and other topics as they pertain to my life. Today I wanted to talk about something that's very important to me because it's something that's just come up very recently in my life, and that is quitting bad habits. Recently I was able to put down a bad habit that I have been doing for many years, and I figured I would share my experiences about how I managed to do it, as well as the struggles along the way. Because after all, that's what makes quitting a bad habit so hard, is all of the struggle that comes along with it because it's so ingrained in your daily routine. So what makes quitting a bad habit so hard? Well, to me, there's a few different distinct reasons on why it is so hard. Number one, you are so used to doing it that you don't see the side effects anymore. This is one that resonates very well with me in regards to my vape usage. I had been smoking or vaping for many years, about 8 or 9, and every single day I had used either a cigarette or a nicotine inhalation device through a vape. And after doing it for so long, I didn't even notice the damage that it was doing to my lungs. I didn't realize how every single morning I woke up and had a scratchy throat, and how it was really hard to breathe sometimes when I had my mask on at work. Only by taking a step back and being away from my habit for a few days and into a few weeks was I truly able to see how much better my life was without it. A lot of times our mind can make excuses about things that we do just because we don't want to lose them. Even though we know in our hearts that we shouldn't be doing the things that we are doing, we don't want to stop them because we genuinely do enjoy them. Number two, you are using it as a coping mechanism without even realizing it. This one definitely resonates with me as well in regards to my vape usage. It seemed like every single time I would get upset in any way, shape, or form, especially in regards to my employment, I would immediately reach for my vape and go, oh, I just need to step outside, I need to take a second and just breathe. But I didn't really need that break. I've slowly realized after quitting vaping and not taking any kind of break like that at work anymore, that I didn't need the break to begin with. And even though I'm still very much struggling with those same emotions of not having something to cope with the stresses of day-to-day life, I have found that I am working through them better than I ever have in my entire life. And I think that's because I relied so heavily on vaping to always be there no matter what. I was the kind of person that vaped every single moment from the time I got up till the time I went to bed. And so no matter what was happening, good or bad, I felt like I always had to vape. Obviously it was not a constructive habit, and I knew I had to stop. So if you can identify that you are using a habit as a coping mechanism, identify whether it is a positive habit to be using as a coping mechanism or not. There is almost nothing that is good when used excessively, and I think people often forget how much they excessively use the things that they consider their habits. If you find that you aren't using them excessively, then maybe you don't need to quit. But if you do find that you have issues being able to take a step back and that you are relying too much on a habit for a stress relief, then maybe it's time to take a step back and look at your life as a whole. Number three, being a quitter. This is a really weird one because you wouldn't think that it would be on many people's minds, but I find that it is. We are taught from a very young age to not quit things and to see things through until the very end. While this can be very good in life for most things, and it allows you to get through the tough parts of things in order to see the beautiful other end once you get to the reward, this isn't the case for absolutely everything. If something is detrimental to your life and is causing you a bit of distress, then it's time to take it out of your life. I don't view taking something out of your life that is detrimental to it as quitting. I think it is actually starting something completely new and changing your life for the better. If you want, you can replace that habit with something completely brand new, and instead of feeling like you're quitting one thing, you can consider it as if you're swapping one thing for another, as long as the thing you are swapping for is healthy in exchange. Number four, and possibly the most important for most people, the side effects. When a habit is ingrained deeply into your mind and into your daily routine, it is extremely hard to imagine getting away from it. When a habit is ingrained so deeply into your life that you're thinking about it most hours of the day, it's definitely going to affect you negatively when you try to take a step away. These side effects can be both mental and physical. As a society, we tend to think that physical pain is a lot harder than mental pain, but I personally don't believe that is the case. I think they can both be equal, as it depends a lot on how heavy things are weighing on your mind. Don't be ashamed if you are caused by mental anguish from quitting a bad habit. Just consider that all the more power to push through those side effects. On the other side of getting through all of those side effects that you are experiencing is a life where you are free of that habit and you don't think that you need it anymore on the day-to-day. I promise that by getting through the early side effects of quitting a habit, you will soon be able to see the positives in your life that have come about by getting rid of it. And lastly, number 5, change is hard. Most people genuinely do not enjoy change on a consistent basis, and they like to be enjoying the same thing over and over again. Unfortunately, by the nature of quitting a habit, you are changing your life fairly drastically. By taking something away from your life that you are so used to, it can cause a lot of distress in your mind. In regards to these emotions you may be feeling about change, I urge you to think about all of the times in your life when change has been really difficult to get through, but once you have gone through that change, you've ended up on the other side a better and stronger person, and your life was enriched because of it. Just because something is extremely difficult doesn't mean that it's not worth pursuing. In fact, it means that it's probably extremely worth pursuing, and that it's just going to be a little bit harder to get there. So, by analyzing these 5 different reasons why it was hard for me to quit vaping, I was able to systematically attack each one in my mind and be able to identify exactly why I wanted to quit vaping. Once I had everything written down and I felt like I was ambitious enough to go through with it, it just all of a sudden started happening. Now, there have been many times in my life where I have tried to quit nicotine before and it just never worked out. And believe me, those first few days of quitting a habit are the worst. But something weird happened around day 4 or 5. I lost the urge to do it again. I felt like I had created a spree and that I was on day X and that I couldn't break that streak. It was the longest I had ever been since I was 16 years old. So I encourage you in the beginning when you are quitting your habits to keep track of what day, what hour you are on. And don't beat yourself up if you end up doing your bad habit once again, as we are all just humans and humans inevitably make mistakes. If you change your mindset around the habit, eventually you won't want to do the habit again and it will be easier to get through those first couple days. Once you get through those first few days, habits become a lot easier to break. I myself have just recently celebrated 2 months completely nicotine free, and this was something that I never thought I would be able to achieve, but here I am. That is all I have to say today about quitting bad habits and my own personal experiences with quitting vaping. I hope that by watching this video you have been inspired to analyze your life and think about things that you need to change or want to change within your life. I would love to hear about any habits that you struggle with either getting rid of in your life or you have had success with getting rid of at previous points in your life down in the comments section below. If you thoroughly enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like as that really helps out my channel to reach more people. Also, make sure to share the video on social media as that helps my video reach out to even more people. Thank you so much for watching and take care.